This is a story of two dumpster tables. This one, the top was trashed, and this is the after. The next one I got at a big barn blowout. It was just neglected and dirty, and this is the after. In this video, I'm going to show you how easy it is to make over. Sanded off the top, and there is some of the finish left, but I think it's going to be okay because once I get that dark and decrepit on there, I think it's going to hide it. This is my inspiration piece for the top. Used some DIY paint, dark and decrepit. I did a layer of copper patina and then a layer of the gold. Wiped it back quite a bit. There's really, like when the light hits it, it's a shimmery copper gold. I already gave this a good clean, and now I'm using the new DIY paint brush. First thing I like to do is spray that water and then go over it. These brushes are so soft and hold so much paint. They make the smoothest finish. I was really impressed with how fast I got this project done. I also like to turn tables upside down when I'm working on them. I find it a lot easier to not have a surprise back of a leg or something you forgot to paint, and it's just easier on your back as I get into my older years. I am using the new DIY paint multitasker. It holds a ton of paint. It's super soft, and I really don't see any brush marks. Okay, the first coat is almost finished. Now for the drawer, I could not get that hardware off. It had become one with the drawer. So I'm going to paint over it, and then I'm going to just add some copper and gold patina with my finger. It will be gorgeous, I hope. One final place, this little shelf underneath the table. I will probably do a second coat once it dries, and I'm done. And did I mention how smooth the finish is with these new brushes? It's amazing. While we're waiting for the paint to dry in the French table, let's get started on the dumpster table. I'm using the new DIY paint brush, the sampler. I turned the table upside down, and I am finding it so easy with this paintbrush to get all around. There's a lot of curves and a lot of spindles, and this is going to save my wrist and my hand. This project is so much easier than doing this with a bigger paintbrush. I love this color. I mixed equal parts Monet Garden and Bohemian blue. I wanted a more green blue, and it's coming up so gorgeous. I can't wait to get the top stained so I can see the contrast. This table is almost finished. Because this brush holds so much paint, I only needed to do one coat on the entire thing. Other than sanding the top down, which was pretty trash, this has been a really easy project. I mixed equal parts gold and copper, and here's my sample board. I stained it first, then put the patina on. Dark and decrepit patina can go over paint, it can go over raw wood, it can even go over stained wood. It is very concentrated, so I like to spray it first. I like to put it on with a staining pad and then work with a wet edge. I also go over areas I've already gone on to make sure I don't have any uneven spot. It's really forgiving. This part, there's no smell. This is how you can get two projects finished at once while I'm waiting for the stain to dry. I'm wiping the dust off the round table and getting it ready to stain. Using the same DIY paint, dark patina, I am staining it with a sponge. I'm also going in the direction of the wood. So the inlay is set out in triangles, and I'm trying to go with that direction, going in one direction and being careful to not put too much down, wiping over areas if there's a little bit too much in one spot. And just about finished. I will definitely be putting on a second coat. The wood was really dry, and if I had to do this again, I would probably recommend using a wood conditioner. That way it won't soak up so much stain so fast. I'm now going around the edges, so you can see I did not sand off all the original finish. The really amazing thing about DIY paint, dark patina, is it can go over an existing finish. Once I get that second coat on, you will not be able to tell where the original finish was and where the dark patina was. It's pretty amazing stuff. All right, we're back to the French table. I poured equal amounts of copper and gold. I'm using the turquoise iris VIP brush, and I'm putting them both on right over the patina at the same time. If I did this again, I would definitely use less product, but I'm pretty darn happy with the overall results. This is a really fun brush to use for all DIY paints. You can blend really easy. It's thin, so you don't get big glops of paint. I love it. There's a lot of product left on the edge of the brush, so I'm just going around all those sides and hitting all the detail. I want some of that dark patina to show through, so now I'm just taking a shop towel and wiping in. I really love the way this looks when the dark patina comes through and you get this metallic hint on top of it. Using your continuous mister, that will definitely make your job a little bit easier. You can see it's coming up a little better now. If you watched my last video, I gave you the advice to make sure you painted inside the area where the drawers fit. I forgot to do this, so I have to do it now. The paint is dry. I'm going to go over it with a 320 grit sandpaper. This is a very smooth sandpaper. I'm just smoothing out the edges, and I want to just very lightly distress it around, so don't press too hard, but you're going to get a beautiful smooth finish. I'm using DIY paint, 100% natural clear wax. It really soaks into the paint, and once it dries, it will create this beautiful soft finish. It's going to make the paint look really wet, and if you've used different colors, it may look really weird and spotty. Don't worry, it's going to be gorgeous when it's all finished. I like working the wax in with a brush rather than a rag. I feel like the rag soaks up too much, and really get it in there, you'll end up using less wax. You can go straight or in concentric circles. It doesn't really matter, whatever feels best to you, because when you buff it, it will be gorgeous. I'm also going over the top. It's not going to absorb as well because I've got several layers of patina, but if you've watched prior videos, you know this is my secret sauce. I love doing this to the tops of furniture because it makes it completely water resistant. You can spill all kinds of stuff on it and it'll just pool up. Ooh, I love the way this turned out. It just needs a little bit of distressing and smoothing out because it's an old table and some of the finish wasn't in the greatest shape, and I want to make sure it gets the royal treatment. I'm going to lightly distress it and smooth it out, and then I'm going to finish it also with some wax. I'm so happy with the way the top turned out. I am taking the paint off the edges with a damp rag. DIY paint has no latex or acrylic, so you can come back and reactivate it with water. This way I have a little more control. I just want a little to come off where it would naturally wear off on the edges, and I didn't want to go in with sandpaper too much to knock that down. Also really hard on your fingers to get into all that detail. Also use a baby wipe. This is a really easy way to add a little bit of character to your furniture. I do want to smooth out some of those flat parts and the spindles. I want to make sure that they feel really nice to the touch. Not that anyone is going to be running their hands down the legs, but just in case, I like to finish off with this because it really elevates your furniture, and if you're selling it, you can get a better price for it if it feels like a really fine finish. Repeating the same process with the clear wax, you can really see how much darker it makes the paint when it's wet. When it dries, it's going to be just perfect. When you add a finish to DIY paint, the light will bounce off the color and it will really enhance the overall look of it. And the projects are finished. When that wax was dry, I buffed them. You can see what a beautiful sheen it gets. And check out that top. I could not be more excited about it. DIY paint and the wax really made all the details of this gorgeous free table come to life. And here is the finished little French table. It is the perfect update for this beautiful little table. The wax finish on it makes it really shine, and check out that top. You can see that beautiful wood grain coming through with just a hint of metallic. I hope you enjoyed these projects. Thanks for watching. You can find more at redouxinteriors.com. All the products I use are in my shop listed below. If you liked this video, please subscribe, give it a like and a comment, and I will see you in my next project. Happy junking. Much love, Karen.